If you're black and you're thinking about a hair transplant, you do not want a zigzag line because black hair transplants should have straight lines across. That is normal. This is not normal to have that zigzag. And you can even see how unnatural it looks. Now, you see how unnatural that looks? Again, zigzag. You want this to be completely straight. That is the way to go if you're thinking about a hair transplant as a black male. If you're
All right. So, you know, when you black or white, doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, when you get a hair transplant, they have to draw your hairline on. So, like somebody like me already got SMP, scalp micropigmentation, right? So they're not going to have to worry about drawing my hairline on because, you know, it's already drawn on basically. It's a tattoo. Whereas this guy, you can see he had hair loss up here, so they have to draw his hairline on. But again, when you're black, well, I didn't say again, but like when you're black, your hairline is more like a focal point of your face. But it can be with white people, depending on kind of haircut they got. But most white guys, they got the kind of haircut like this guy, right? Where like bruh can almost rock a bang and cover up some hair loss, right? Whereas like when you're a black guy, your hairline is like the focal point of your face because there's not like hairs like twisting over your hairline. So with this guy, he got this jagged edge thing, right? And the reason they do that is because they tell you basically it looks more quote unquote natural. They want to give you a more natural look, whereas like something like this can look unnatural if it's not done correctly, or it can be a little too aggressive from the hairlines or from the actual graft areas. So they got to put too many grafts to cover the actual straightness of this hairline, whereas this guy wasn't. But I mean, as you progress through the video, you see that his hair transplant actually turned out good. And we're going to get back to his hair transplant. But what I want to show you guys is this: a white guy hair transplant. So you gotta can compare the black and the white guy and see a little bit about what I mean. So now with this white guy, you can tell, bruh got the same thing. His hairline is drawn on, right? And they actually drew it straight. So they didn't draw it like the jagged edge thing, but there's some clear differences that you're going to be able to see even in this small clip. So let's check it out. All right. So basically, he starts off by giving us the side looks, up looks, and then this is when he gets the hair transplant. They see they got the months at the bottom. So it's the first month. So that's when he first got it. First month, everything settled in. By the third month, you can see he's already starting to grow hair. But I want you to pay attention. You saw what he just did. That black people, like for the most part, like there are some black people, mixed people, or whatever. They got curly hair. But even them, like for the most part, we don't do this, flow thing with our hair. Then our hair like bounces right back type stuff. That's more so a white guy kind of thing, right? Like that being said, his hairline doesn't have to be so straight that it just like has to be popping off the page. That is, I mean, it doesn't have to be so straight that it's going to be put on display because it actually is going to be covered up most of the time. So let's keep watching. All right, now right here. So even with his hairline, it really like looking at it. And like I only can notice for one because I'm looking directly at it, and also I'll be transparent. I did zoom in a bit, but also I've looked at enough white versus black people hair transplants where I can kind of just tell what the hair like. But so this guy, you can tell his hair is actually growing over his hairline right here, right? Another thing you can tell his hairline goes back a little bit, but he has that hair we can cover it. It's like if a girl's balding, right? She can like do her hair up a different way. But I mean, there's enough guys with hair like this that I understand from a guy perspective. So like a guy that has this hair that can cover, he actually is covering up some of his hairline that hasn't fully grown in yet because they did a good job with his hair transplant. Let's keep watching. This is the 5th month. But you see what I mean? He's able to go over it, and now this is month 8. Month 8. So all of that right there, you see all that hair in the front. His hairline isn't directly on display, whereas you got this guy. His hairline is directly on display, even when we get further in the video. Whereas the white guy, whoa, whereas the white guy, his hairline is not directly on display, right? He got all this other stuff he can use to cover it up a little bit, right? So now with that in mind, we're going to go through and rewatch this guy's video again. So like I said, his turned out good. But there's just a major difference between white people and black people as far as the kind of hairline that you actually have to have. A white guy can have that edged hairline, and it does not even be, it won't even be a problem. They say you should do that when it comes to SMP because it gives that natural look. But again, a black guy with this hairline, I'm curious to know more about. Like, this is me. I don't know the guy's channel or anything, but we're going to watch later on in this video. You can tell when he got the actual haircut. You can tell when he got the actual haircut when it grew in how it turned out. So look at that. You see all that right there, right? It's like a little hills. You can really see it. It's like a shark tooth, right? All of that, all of that, all of that. So it's not just a straight hairline. He has like all of that, like the little up and down kind of thing, right? Meaning more than most likely he has to like go through every once in a while and touch it up to really make it look straight. Because we're going to see it though. Hold on. So again, he said, all right, so look, you can see it right there. It's that jagged little edge look. Again, white person has this, it's okay. Because as we saw by like the 3-month mark, bro was already, he already had hair growing over his hairline. So it's already was flipping over. So you really couldn't tell. It really was not that big of a deal. Whereas this guy right here, let's keep watching. And that's the donor area. Look, you still can see, and this is again only if you're like actually looking close, right? Because from the on side, like out there, it don't look bad. But when you zoom in a little bit, and I'm not to even say like that it actually looks bad. 'Cause I can't say that it actually looks bad. 'Cause I don't think it looks bad, but I just, it just doesn't look like how it should look from the standpoint of straightness wise, right? But now look at his final results. Excuse me, not final, but as you can see, it's growing there. It's probably like a month out. And then let's see right here. All right. So this one, this is what I mean. So you can see kind of some of it is still up, but right here he more than most likely had to get a little cut, right? Like a little lining up himself to keep it this straight. Because on some parts, and it could be just the camera as well. Maybe he has like a beauty filter or something on like that. I don't know. Uh, but like you can see it right here. But what I'm saying is some parts you can tell that it's not over, like there's not that part. You see how this is like up, so it disconnects from your hairline a little bit. But over here, you don't really see that too much, which lets me know potentially, probably, he's cutting it. He's cutting his hairline. And the thing is, once you get a hair transplant, you don't want to cut it, especially if you well, I mean, I can't really speak for like white people, but like black people, you know what I'm saying, how we get our hair cut. And granted, there are some white guys that get their hair cut, for lack of a better term, like a black dude. But that being said, when we get our hair cut, like we're lining it up because it has to be closer to our hair is closer to our head. For the most part, any black guy, even if they got longer hair, like they're going to want to line up because of their face or whatever, right? Whereas again, this guy, he doesn't need a lineup. Like they might cut him with some scissors, go to great clips, scissor cut him. But looking like that, he doesn't need an actual, lineup with the what I'm saying, the razor, or not the razor, with the clippers. He doesn't need an actual lineup with clippers, which is a major difference in the long run as far as how he even maintain this hair transplant. Because even with black guys, it's not like your hairline is for the most part is already straight. The reason why they say you don't want to keep cutting it is because you can, some hair around there. Granted, I've heard mixed stories on this, right? Some people tell me, like from what I've read, that hair transplanted hair, like the transplanted grafts, they never go away, which means they'll always grow back. However, some people say you don't want to keep cutting it because it may not grow back as soon, or it may not grow back as quick, or it maybe don't grow back at all. So the bottom line is, as much as possible with your hair transplanted hair, and specifically as black people, because we more likely get our hair cut, you know what I'm saying, the lower look or whatever. You don't want to keep cutting your hair transplanted hair, basically, is what I'm saying. So that's a big thing to really take into consideration if you're going to be getting a hair transplant. Because if you're going to be getting a hair transplant and you have, a hairline that's like that jagged edge look, it does matter if you black or white. Ideally, again, as a black person, you don't want your hair done like that. As a white person, it really doesn't matter, because depending on how you plan on keeping your hair. If you're going, what's that? The Travis Kelsey, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're going a little bit lower like that, then you might want to make sure your hairline is a little bit straight. Look at the first comment. I don't know if you guys saw it, but look, this guy said, shoot, he said, I'm white, but you better do mine like I'm black when I go bald. Laugh out loud. And people were laughing. So yeah, like it's a difference, right? Like a white guy, his hair transplant is going to be done differently. This black guy might want his hair to be low like this, which is why he's saying do mine like a black guy versus like a white guy. You feel me? Another thing too, and this is the last thing. So at the end of this video, since this guy, and this is something I want to get clarification on even myself. I noticed that like black people, for the most part, like black guys, when they get a hair transplant, they keep their hair lower, whereas white guys, like look at this dude, he got a whole he got a whole thing of hair. And mind you, in the beginning, he started off right here, so none of that was grown in. This is a really good hair transplant. So none of that is grown in. But by the end of it, he turns out like this. And this isn't just like he has hair grown in. This is like he has strings, long hair he's pulling out his head. Whereas with bro right here, and I'm not sure how far along he was, but you can tell by the time we get to here, look at him. Low, but look at that. Still low. Now, a lot of things matter, right? We don't know, where he was at when he first started. Actually, we do know where he was at. We saw it. He wasn't that bad when he first started, actually. Um, But what I'm saying is the density overall, like, and this could be just because the white guy's maybe better at hiding his non-dense hair because he can just go overflow it with some other hair. You get what I'm saying? He can just flow it over. Whereas again, with black people, our non-dense areas are a little bit more spotlighted, a little bit more on the forefront, on the front page. You can really see it, especially when you bend down, you can see where areas are like, look, that area denser than this area. Like you can see that clear as day. This area right here, that area right there, a lot denser than that area all up in there. It still ain't bad though. Like not at all. Still not bad. Still a really good hair transplant. This was something that I just wanted you guys to take a look at. Again, welcome. Oh man, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about the hair transplants in the description. And also, if you are black or white guy, and if you had a hair transplant, let me know. Did you get a straight hairline? Did you get a jagged edge hairline? Let me know what you guys think about that in the description. And also, stick around. I got another video, and I actually want to go over what happens after you go bald, or after you get a hair transplant. Can you go bald? So stick around for that. And welcome to Afterly, where we are improving transparency around the cosmetic industry. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. As always, you know what to do. Get to stepping, get to stepping, get to stepping. Hey.
Like YOLO wanted to tell you, accept yourself. You don't have to prove shit to no one, accept yourself. And if you